Hello everyone, this is my advocacy presentation. So for my topic, I chose creative arts in the early childhood classroom. So what does creative arts look like in the early childhood classroom? Well, first things first is you want to establish a learning environment that nurtures creativity. You want to make your students comfortable with expressing their imagination and all of their thoughts, even though they kind of can be a little bit crazy. By this, I just mean that your students have the opportunity to use their imagination every once in a while by giving them activities to eliminate that boundary that often comes with Common Core curriculum. One reoccurring theme that I found throughout my research was to not diminish a child's original thought, but to build upon it in a way that's beneficial to their education. So a good way to do this is to ask questions that foster rich conversations to get the child to dig a little bit deeper when thinking about their answer. Hands-on versus minds-on. So this just kind of means that when you're trying to integrate creative arts into your classroom, you still have to make content meaningful for your child's education. A good example of this is craft versus integrated arts. When a student is making a craft, it's more than likely not very engaging for their brain. They may be cutting and gluing or picking out different colors, which is all very good, but it's not necessarily meaningful. However, with integrated arts, it gives your students a creative outlet to demonstrate their understanding through a form of art. So it's a very fluid concept where art and a subject just kind of flow into one another. Some things to keep in mind when you're working with creative arts in your classroom is to allow your students time for peer-to-peer interaction. It's important that students practice explaining their creative process to their peers because it allows for them to be more insightful of their work and the work of others. When talking about creativity with children, the old saying, "think outside the box," may pop into your head. I kind of took this saying, I kind of took this saying and applied it to what I most commonly see in the classroom, which were worksheets. And I just wanted to use this slide to reiterate how critical it is for us as teachers to harvest our students' creativity in our future classroom in a way that kind of allows them to use their imagination while still learning. This quick activity, if y'all want to do it at home, you can, but no one's making it. This quick activity is kind of just a fun way to get the creative juices flowing before getting into a more in-depth lesson that involves creativity. So you take a tangible object, and for mine, I just used a shoe. That's what I was going to use in class. And then you either draw or write about a purpose for that object other than what its intentional purpose is. Copley, shh, no barking. So my example, I have it somewhere here. I don't know if you can see it, but so a shoe, and I made it into a flower pot. And that is it. That's my advocacy presentation. I hope you all are staying very healthy. I love you all.